White cop frames black woman in court, has no idea she's a lethal Navy SEAL.
My attorney wasn't there when I was framed.
Oh, please, what would you know about anything?
Do you have an explanation?
Then she slips out of her cuffs, and everything changes. What really happened? Let's find out. Leah stood in the cold courtroom, her wrists bound in steel cuffs. Her dark eyes burned with quiet rage as she watched Officer Lawson smirk from the witness stand. He was the kind of cop who thought his badge made him invincible, the kind who thought people like her, young, black, and unassuming, could be tossed aside without consequence.
I saw the defendant leaving the crime scene.
Lawson declared, voice dripping with confidence.
She resisted arrest and became aggressive.
A murmur ran through the courtroom. The prosecutor nodded, satisfied. The judge frowned at Leah as if she were already guilty. Leah had heard enough. She slowly turned, the chains rattling around her wrists.
Permission to speak, Your Honor.
The judge sighed.
Miss Leah, you'd be wise to let your attorney...
My attorney wasn't there when I was framed.
The room fell silent. Lawson's smirk wavered. Leah took a slow breath.
Officer Lawson claims I resisted arrest. But here's what he didn't mention. I was never at that crime scene. I was 3 miles away, finishing a morning run, and I have proof.
She pointed to a man in a crisp suit. Her former commanding officer stood and held up a tablet.
GPS tracking from her smartwatch,
He announced.
She was nowhere near the scene.
Gasps echoed. The prosecutor's face paled. Lawson's jaw clenched, but Leah wasn't done. She leveled her gaze at him.
You assumed I was just another woman you could pin this on, didn't you, Mr. Lawson?
Lawson scoffed.
Oh, please, what would you know about anything?
A slow, dangerous smile spread across Leah's face.
I know more than you think.
Then she did something no one expected. She twisted her wrists, relocating her own thumb in one swift, practiced motion. The cuffs slipped off like loose bracelets. The courtroom gasped as she flexed her fingers, wincing slightly before popping her thumb back into place. Lawson's eyes widened.
What the...
Leah smirked.
I was a Navy SEAL for 8 years, and in those years, I was trained to read people like you.
Lawson shook abruptly.
This is ridiculous.
Leah interrupted.
Is it?
She asked.
Because I also know you tampered with evidence.
The courtroom erupted into whispers. The judge pounded his gavel.
Ms. Leah, I'll have order.
Leah turned toward the legal officer.
Check the body cam footage. Lawson disabled his during my arrest, but his partner's was still running. If you check the audio logs, you'll hear him telling his partner to make it stick.
The judge hesitated, then nodded to the legal officer.
Retrieve that footage.
Lawson's face turned a sickly shade of white.
No, this is a waste of...
The legal officer returned moments later with a laptop. He played the audio.
Just say she was resisting.
Lawson's voice crackled through the speakers.
We'll make it stick.
The courtroom went still. The prosecutor's pen slipped from his hand. The judge narrowed his eyes.
Officer Lawson,
The judge said, voice like ice.
do you have an explanation?
Lawson opened his mouth, then closed it. Sweat beaded on his forehead. Leah folded her arms.
I've spent years defending this country, only to come home and get treated like a criminal, but I don't scare easy.
The judge turned to the prosecutor.
Drop the charges immediately.
The charges were removed, and Leah rolled her shoulders as the tension drained from her muscles. She glanced at Lawson, who was now sitting in stunned silence, his career in ruins. As she walked toward the exit, her former commanding officer fell into step beside her.
What now?
He asked. Leah smirked.
Now, I think it's time to clean up some dirty cops.
And with that, she walked out. Not just a free woman, but a force to be reckoned with.